the other half of that question, how do you generally like what you have seen so far of the new package?
Yeah, I think it'll come into play a little. I mean, anytime you push the throttle hard, you give up a little bit of that rear spoiler. I mean, I think on a long run, it's not going to be something that we feel a lot of, but if you had the other one on a long run with old tires, I think you would definitely get off the corner a little bit better. With what we had last year, you'd just be able to have more grip from the rear tires. But it's not going to change a whole lot at this particular track, I don't think. Some of the other race tracks we've raced at, to me, the first, every track up to California, I could get much closer to the back of a car and still run similar lap times to where I was. I didn't lose near as much. I didn't have to go find, try to get as far away from that guy as possible to keep my speed up like I felt last year. California was a little different. It seemed to get tighter the closer we got, which was different than the other tracks, but I guess that's probably just the way that maybe that track races or how our car was that day. That's how I felt. And, but luckily that track's so wide, you have plenty of space to go looking for room. So I think to this part of the season, it's definitely been better, easier to get closer to the car in front of you. You don't slow down near as much when you're right behind them, and I think that's a huge gain from where we were.
You generally like it?
And I definitely like it, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Chris?
ChrisKnight, Kasey, were you happy with the car in race trim? Did you guys practice at all in race trim today? And do you feel like that the win last weekend definitely gave you some much needed momentum?
I think the car was close in race trim. I could run consistent lap times. They weren't as quick as, I think I saw, Larson was faster, like consecutive laps, and there might have been another car there. I felt I was comparable to Harvick and a few guys, but, Friday, super clean, grippy racetrack really means nothing compared to Sunday in race trim, but I felt comfortable and felt like we had consistent speed. We'll need to work on that a lot more tomorrow, and then the track changes a good bit for Sunday, so everything's different then. But, I thought our car handled nicely. Last weekend's win was a blast for me. I was glad I went and raced, and, that's what I wanted to do on Easter weekend, was race a sprint car, and I did it, and we ended up winning a race, and it felt really good.
Okay, you go to Bob and then Kenny.
Bob Pockers, ESPN. How nice is it to have feel like you have some speed in the car? And secondly, the fact that you qualify well after a sprint car race, does that mean you can convince Rick to let you do more?
No, I think the sprint car races are going to be on the off weekends, like what Mr. H said. Just don't let it interfere with what we got going on the Cup side, and I don't want it to interfere with that, but I enjoy doing that stuff once in a while, so it was good, and I'll do a little bit more throughout the season when there's time, and that'll be it. But I felt good about last weekend. I feel good about today. There was times at California Speedway, we had a flat right rear, so we got a lap and just about 3/4 behind changing that tire under green, and it was just a super hard fight to get back to where we wanted to be, but I felt we were 5th to 10th place car on lap times throughout majority of that race, and we just, it wasn't our day, but, I don't think we're that far off. We just need to keep working together as a team and complimenting each other and pushing each other, having each other's backs, and if we do that, we're gonna get much better.
Okay, next to Kenny.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. You were on the front row a few times last year, I believe, so it's not been like that long ago that you qualified well. I think it might have been restrictor plate tracks, but
yeah, those don't count.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just that's where you had the better runs. You've not qualified bad this year. I mean, you've had 10th, 13th, somewhere around in there. How much difference is it qualifying on the front row as opposed to being, say, in the top 10?
Well, I think it's a big difference, and I think that one thing is, this year I feel like our speed's a little better than last year in qualifying. I feel like we've been 8th to 12th probably on majority of the races. I mean, some crazy stuff happened at some of them. We didn't get those results, but I think we've been kind of a 8th to 12th place car, which is better than last year. But when you're in the front row, front 2 rows, I mean, that's a big difference from qualifying around 12th, in my opinion, and a big difference with what you feel about your car, what you think about your car, and also what the guys think about it. So, I think a front row starting spot shows that our car's plenty capable. It's just kind of up to what we do tomorrow and our communication and then what we do on Sunday.
Okay, we'll go to Lee.
Hey, SpencerMotorsport.com. Did you have any issues with the brakes? Because Junior and Chase both reported to their teams that they were having, when they pumped the brakes, they weren't getting anything.
My brakes were really, really good. And that's something that they change a lot. There's a lot of little changes that you have with brakes each race. Martinsville's, they have to be really solid to work with them here. You have front and rear brake and some adjustments there as a driver, but I was really comfortable with my brakes. I locked my left front a little bit in practice on my second to last lap, and so we adjusted accordingly for that, and I was fine in qualifying.
Any other questions for Kasey? All right, Kasey, thank you very much. Good luck on Sunday.
Thank you, guys.